Ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and this is episode 18 of Food, Fitness, and Fun with Dre, that's that guy,
Do
and
it.
with JB, that's me.
Yeah, baby.
So, we're going to get into a little bit of Hollywood squares this time around. It's a
Yeah.
lot of shit going on in Hollywood that we want to talk about. And some of those things happen to be surrounding Thor,
Oh yeah.
god of thunder and lightning. Nah, I'm just kidding. No,
Nah.
no, no. It have to do with what's his name? Chris Hemsworth, right?
Yeah. You
I'm
know.
terrible with actors' names and actresses' names. Chris Hemsworth. So there's some things going on with Chris Hemsworth, and we're gonna discuss it. So
Yeah.
take it away, Dre.
It kind of goes back into things that we talked about before in terms of supplementation or not supplementation, right? So, Chris Hemsworth, I want to say about a week ago, maybe a little more, put out maybe via his trainer that he doesn't take anything to get into the role of Thor, and he doesn't need creatine, he doesn't need whey protein, he doesn't need any of these supplements because he has this, like, I wouldn't even call it a secret because he already revealed it, but this technique where he restricts blood flow to muscles, and that's the thing that gets him to look the way he looks. It's
You mean
not
you mean not those special supplements?
right. So he's not taking any drugs, but he will wrap things around his body to constrict the blood, and that gives it a pump, and you has to make you work way harder um, to achieve a particular, let's say you're doing biceps or something, you have to work way harder to do that. And that
Mm,
is how he looks the way he looks. And
it's
I'm
crazy.
laughing. I'm laughing because it's ridiculous.
Right.
And the reason why it's ridiculous is, well, let's just say if that was true. If
Uh-huh.
that was true, then he could only really, you see how big he is. He could only really lift really light weight. Because if you restrict your blood flow like that, the littlest weight is really hard for you, and your muscles are going to respond based on the weight that you put in front of it. So if
Uh-huh.
it's only small weights, you're not going to get that big. You know what I'm
Uh-huh.
saying? And I feel like, it's not really his fault or his trainer's fault that they have to say these things, because unfortunately we got laws and we got rules in this country that says this substance is illegal. And so no one's going to get on the mic or get on Twitter or whatever and say, oh yeah, I engage in you using these illegal materials. Like, why would you do that to yourself? You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So they kind of come up with silly things to say in order to say, oh yeah, this is how this person works out. Now, they show video of him doing it, and if you watch the video, like, Chris Hemsworth seems, if this is something that he's been doing since he's been doing Thor, which is probably like a solid 10 years now or something like that, maybe a little
Right.
less.
Nah,
Like,
I think more than that.
yeah, maybe a little more. All right, so you've been doing Thor for a minute. And so you mean to tell me that's your workout? So how come when you show the video, you seem so unfamiliar with it? You seem so like,
Mm.
man, like, oh man, this is tough. Oh, this is hard. It's like, if I put a video on you and be like, oh, let's watch, you know, Jonathan's running routine,
Right.
it'll be your running routine. Not to say that it won't be challenging, but your body
Right.
is so used to it, it's not going to be anything like you're like, man, this is crazy. This You're going to be like, oh man, yeah, this is what I normally do. I usually run, blah blah blah,
Right.
like, because that's your thing. If you put a video on me, like, oh, let's watch Dre's back workout. It's like, okay, well, here you go. I'm not unfamiliar with it. It's still a challenge. I might add more weight, but I'm not unfamiliar with these techniques, these routines.
Right.
So when you see somebody do this routine and it looks so uncomfortable to them and so, foreign, it's like, bro, come on, man. You need to stop that. You know what I'm saying? that's not how you make in those gains. That's not how you got prepared for that role. It was
Right.
not restricting your blood. But you got to say whatever because you're not who wants to go to jail. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's too much to risk. You know. So yeah.
So you mean it's not chicken and broccoli? Because you know that's the
Yeah,
famous.
yeah, that's the phase. Chicken, broccoli, and rice, which they
all,
normally say, which
all
is
I
that's the
ate
line.
was chicken, broccoli, and brown rice,
Rice
and
five
I
times a
became a
day.
monster.
I ate five times. I just kept shoving it in my mouth 5 times a day. I just got to keep eating 5, 6, 7 times a day. That's what The Rock said he does. Rock said, "Oh, I eat 7 times a day because I need a lot of food to create the value." Whatever. They're saying everything what they can say because it takes a real bold cat, especially if you're making Hollywood money, to get on a mic and be like, I use all the steroids. You know what I'm saying? I use
Right.
the anabolics. I use testosterone. I
Right.
use, D-ball, all of them. You know what I'm saying? I use all kinds of crazy stuff. You know what I
Whatever
mean?
y'all got.
Yeah, Trenbolone, Anavar, all these, the classics.
Right.
all these all these things that have been out for a minute. They're not going to come out there and say that. Why? Because these are banned substances. It's just like, who's going to come out and be like, oh yeah, before they say camera or action, before I do an action scene, I like to get a little bit of coke in my system. No, you're not going to
Right.
say that because it's illegal.
Right.
I was watching an interview with um Pacino, and they was talking about being Tony Montana, and when he had the pile of like substance, and they was like, yeah, so what exactly was that? And he's like, well, I can't, I'm not going to reveal my secret. You know what I'm saying? He's like, it's some things you got to just leave to imagination. And I'm like,
Right.
you know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Right.
I can't say it was coke or maybe some other substance that gave him a little but I feel him on like I'm not about to tell y'all what it is because it
Right.
may not necessarily be
Street legal.
acceptable. There you go. So I'm gonna put myself in trouble for the movie that I did 40, 50 years ago. Forget y'all. You know what I'm saying? No,
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really funny that cats do that. It's interesting because I think the topic of not using substances like creatine and whey protein is a good topic, but it's like it's coming from the wrong person. Like clearly this dude is jacked. Clearly this dude is taking mad shit. Clearly this dude is like you said, he's taking all of that.
Right.
So it's interesting because I think that that's a great topic, of not taking products, of not taking substances, supplements, and seeing where your body can go. But you ain't the person to do it. Like clearly you take a lot of stuff. Clearly you take things that are under the table. So it's not I'm just saying like it's not the best example. Now if you was some dude that was like, hey, I do MMA and I'm doing this very specific workout, and for these 6 months, I don't take whey protein, I don't take creatine, then that could be a topic. Like, okay, let's look at this dude, see what he's doing, see his results. But Thor, come on, son. Stop
Yeah.
it.
And
Stop it.
yeah, and there are plenty of people who don't take those things because there are some people who feel like, yo, I don't need all that because I get everything from food, and they have a very specific diet. They know everything in that diet, and they're like, all the creatine and branch amino acids, everything I need, I get from my food. So I
Right.
don't deal with that. You know, I could dig it. You know what I'm saying? But those guys who do that normally just look, they look good, whatever. They don't look super duper enormous or super duper shredded. They look like, okay, yeah, you probably get everything you need from food. They don't look bad, but that crazy like you came out of a comic book look.
Right.
Mm, from what I can tell, it's really hard to achieve that without
Yeah.
something, you
Without the juice, baby.
know. Without that
Without
smoothie
the
time.
juice.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You've got the juice. You know what
You
I'm
got the
saying?
juice now.
You've got the juice now, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's easy.
yeah.
It's easy to see. And that's funny
Nah.
because one of our boys who listens to this podcast regularly, he loves The Rock. But he ain't stupid. He know Dwayne Johnson takes that shit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but yeah, yeah.
Come on.
And Dwayne Johnson is has been in the game forever. His dad was in the game. They know all the people there is to know. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? And then some. So it's not like
Yep.
he just waking up one day and be like, "Oh, who can I call?" Whatever. It's like when your dad was wrestling. When his dad was wrestling, he was wrestling in a time where a lot of these substances wasn't illegal. I've probably said this before. Like when
Yep.
Arnold was coming up, when they first introduced them, they wasn't necessarily illegal, so you could just take them. Then they became illegal, and then you had to just kind of know somebody. So his dad, knows people, and then he got into sports. He was in football. We know it's crazy in sports, especially in football. And then he was in wrestling, which we know it's
Right.
crazy in wrestling too. So to think that all of a sudden you don't know the people that you've been knowing from when you were in your 20s, now all of a sudden you don't know them cats. Come on, man, stop. You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on, son.
Those cats, you probably know even more cats, because now with more money comes more access,
That's
you
right.
know? So, hey, listen, we enjoy the movies. I
Right.
love seeing the Rock crazy big. It looks great on screen. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? When he
Yep.
came back, when he did that first Fast Furious, his first one that he was in, and I was just like, whoa, whoa. Dwayne
Right.
Johnson is not in this movie.
Right.
The Rock is in this
Right.
movie. You know what
Right.
I'm saying?
Solid.
Solid. Like, whoa, this dude, he came in as the Rock on this one.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I mean?
Left
So
Dwayne
that's what's up.
Johnson at home.
I don't need that. I don't need that no
You know what
more.
I'm saying?
Put on my WWF suit,
You know what
my
I'm saying?
WWE. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It's silly. I mean, like you said, cats got to say whatever, but to straight up be like, "Oh, I don't take anything," and you look like a comic book, we know it's false, and there's no way it could be true because
right.
it's just silly. It's like, yo, son. Again, like I said, if it was like, all right, every day I'm in here doing my thing, you would look great. Not doubting that. I'm not saying Chris Hemsworth wouldn't look great or Dwayne Johnson wouldn't look
Yeah,
great, but don't tell me you got the superhero look without the juice, baby.
right, right.
Come
And let
on.
me, yeah, and let me be clear. It's like, yo, no one is saying all you got to do is take these substances and just chill. You got to put
No,
the work in. You have to put the work
absolutely.
in. So I do believe, when I see him tossing tires and doing crazy workouts that, when they all put their workouts out. Same thing with The Rock. He put the chains on. He started doing dips. Yeah, I know you're in the gym. I see it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know just taking the supplements by themselves ain't going to get you it. You got to
No.
do everything. So I know you diet. I know you put that work in the gym every morning, but I know chicken, broccoli, and rice didn't get you that. So
Right.
stop. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But it's
but
all
but
good. Say what you got to
but you
say.
mean the grilled chicken won't give me that extra edge I need?
Right, right. Yeah, exactly. And the egg whites and whatever.
Gotta have the egg whites,
Yeah.
egg white steroids.
Yeah. And the
Saying
only reason I mentioned it, because I ain't hating on none of them, but it's like when people get that Hollywood status, millions and millions of people look at them,
right,
young cats, whatever, look at them like, wow, that's the thing to be. And if he says it's A, B, and C, then I guess it's A, B, and C, you know. And we're just here to try to like, come on, like, let's have you wake up out of that illusion
right.
and realize, it ain't magic. You know what I'm saying? It's specific things that these cats are doing, you
Yep.
know.
And like you said, I think you made a great point of we do not want to ignore the fact that they're putting in the work because they are. You
Right.
know, Dwayne Johnson, he's a beast. You know what I'm saying? You see Chris Hemsworth, like you said, I saw that video with him tossing around the tire and doing all that other shit. He's killing it. But our thing is just like, yo, don't lie to folks. You know what I'm saying? Then you got cats coming up, watching this, and like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna just take my arm up and do this restricted. Stop, stop, stop,
and
stop,
possibly hurt
stop,
themselves with that. Right,
stop.
right,
Remember Eddie
yeah.
Murphy? He said, "You lying motherfuckers, stop,
You know what I mean? Cut it out.
cut it
You know,
out." You know what I mean?
Full House, cut it
Cut
out.
it out. Yeah, I'm gonna put a clip up now, baby.
Thank
You know what I'm
you,
saying?
thank you. Cut
Cut it
it
out.
out.
That might have to
You
be
know what I
the,
mean?
the name of the pod. You know what I'm saying? Cut it out. Full
Yeah.
house. So you was telling me that Vin Diesel got body shamed.
Yeah, man. The other Hollywood dude that I felt bad about because they seems like every few months or so they body shame Vin Diesel. You know, um, he is out on his like yacht, you know what I'm saying, where his kids, whatever, and there's all these paparazzi, and these lenses, they could be miles away and they could just zoom in on you. So you think in your mind, if you Vin, oh, I'm out in my yacht, ain't nobody around me. I could just be me, my lady,
Right.
my kids. We
Right.
having a great time. He takes his shirt off and it's nothing impressive. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of a gut there, you know, little man boobies, whatever. And what they call a dad bod.
Right.
Here's a guy that's, middle aged guy in his 50s. All right, you know what I'm saying? And the pictures come out and everybody starts body shaming him, like no problem. Which, we can maybe go a little bit deeper on this because if it's like, well, you tell me your perspective, because I feel like when it's women not necessarily looking their best, people are very careful not to say anything negative. But it seems to be open season on men or male actors if they don't look a certain part at a certain time. And so it's like, you know, when Vin Diesel has Fast and Furious, where we at 12, 13, I have no idea. But whenever his movie is coming out, you know, he'll get himself in shape. He'll go get some smoothie time, whatever, and cut it on up. But a lot of people just want to enjoy themselves. Some people don't want to be in the gym every day. Some people don't want to have to work out every day. He earned his money. He earned his yacht. He earned the right to be, a little Buddha if you want to. You know what I'm saying? Just be a little chubby and eat what you like and enjoy your life. Why is it okay to body shame him? Again. You know what I'm
Again.
saying? Again. Why is that, like why is that okay? Um, but Lizzo can get on the same Twitter or Instagram, whatever, and show all her food and just be like, I'm so happy about this. And everyone is like bigging her up for that. So I don't know. You tell me I just see that there's this like double standard when it comes to body shaming your celebrities, whatever.
There's a lot of body shaming um, for celebrities across the board. Lizzo is a really, really challenging example because with Lizzo, there's kind of two communities. There's like a supportive community that's like, oh yeah, girl, we see you, rep for the big girls, do your thing, wear nothing if you want to, we love you. And then there's another community that's like, and this is not me saying this, I'm saying what the community says because I know how people are. But there's another group of people who see what Lizzo does and they're like, get this fat bitch off the screen. This bitch needs to put some clothes on. Fuck out of here, fatty. And it's fucked up. But that's the other side. So Lizzo is a really challenging example because there's kind of a split. And a lot of it, in my opinion, has to do with the antics. Like how Kanye puts on a lot of antics. Lizzo does too. And I think
Okay.
that's part of the divide. I don't have any facts to back it up. That's my opinion. I think that's part of the divide. I think some people see the antics and they're like, all right, can this fat bitch just sit down? Again, not my opinion. I'm saying I think this is how some people perceive what
people go,
she does.
people gonna get on you with that one. But why she have to
Listen, I'm
be a
keeping it
mini
real. That's not
show?
my perspective. I'm not saying at all what my perspective is. I'm saying that these are
Yeah.
the two narratives that I see. I see a divide and I see both. So I have seen people cheer her on and applaud her, and I have also seen people say very degrading things about her and directly to her. Um, as far as the antics, my opinion with antics across the board for every celebrity is please shut up and sit down. But for me, that has nothing to do with weight or anything else, or gender, or race, or ethnicity. I don't think the antics are necessary for any celebrity. I don't think you need to do wild, crazy shit to sell a CD, a sneaker, a movie, an item of clothing. Just sell your stuff and do whatever marketing you want. But that's my opinion for everyone. Kanye, Lizzo, Tom, Dick, Harry, whoever. Um, but getting back to the body shaming topic, there's a lot of body shaming. And largely it comes from, like we said when we did the pods together, it comes from people just having a platform. It comes from people having a way to hide behind a computer or their cell phone and say, like, well, I can't see Andre. Andre will probably never see me in person. So I'm going to say hateful things because I can, or because it'll get me likes and retweets and follows and shit like that. So that's what I think it comes from. I think it's not just Lizzo who gets support for the plus size model stuff. There's some awesome plus size models, and they get lots of love, whether they're fully clothed or half naked, or doing swimsuit stuff. And the same thing. There's lots of bigger guys who get a lot of love publicly. Um, like I said, Lizzo is a hard topic because she's constantly in the public eye and constantly doing things to kind of say, like, here I am, look at me. So she's a hard topic. But even Hugh Jackman, I remember Hugh Jackman when he was like crazy buff and like putting out videos of himself. What's this thing called? Deadlifting. When he was like deadlifting 1,000 pounds, there was a community that was like, this guy is the shit. And then that same community later on, when he was no longer being Wolverine and stopped taking the products and slimmed way down, they were like, oh, look at Hugh Jackman, he looks like shit now. It's like, he doesn't look like shit, he's just being regular Hugh Jackman. Like, he doesn't have to be Wolverine this month,
But
so he's chilling.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like in terms of the double standard for men and women, I don't see on the men's side
Mm-hmm.
the support for being the regular dude. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, when men get jacked, mad cats is just like
No, it happened for
men, women,
Aquaman.
everybody's holding on.
What's his name? I don't
Okay.
know his name. What's Aquaman's name?
Uh, 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 Mimona. What's his? I don't know.
Yeah, him. I
Jason,
don't
Jason
know.
Momoa.
Jason
Jason
Momoa. When
Momoa.
Jason Momoa
Yeah.
was jacked, everyone was celebrating him. And when he was like, oh, well, I'm done filming, I'm getting my dad bod on, women were losing their minds and were like, oh, his dad bod is great. He's so
Oh, okay.
sexy. I love that he could be Aquaman and be regular. Oh, he's just as delicious. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I didn't hear
Yeah.
that. So if that is accurate, then that's what's up.
No, no,
Because
no.
that's the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
thing
yeah. It
I heard.
happens. It happens. But the thing is, you know what happens on the internet? What happens on the internet is the internet champions negativity,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. You're
So
right.
even videos, right? If we put out a video praising Chris Hemsworth, it'll get a lot less views than bashing Chris Hemsworth, right? I'm using him because we were just talking about him. But the
Right.
same thing. That's why when Dwayne Johnson was being bashed, you saw so much of it because the internet champions negativity. It's like a fight,
Okay.
right? If you put out a video and put and show like, hey, this is me training in the gym, or this is me training for martial arts tournaments, you're gonna get love. Now, if you put out a video where you crack someone's muffin open because you karate kicked them in the temple, it probably go viral
Of course. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
the internet champions negativity.
Now, and that makes sense because what I'm thinking about is when Will Smith, came on and took off the shirt and let his
Yeah.
dad bod be his dad bod and then just, spin around. From what I can see, which like you say, makes sense now, it was all, from what I can tell, it was all negativity. Now, I don't sit there and analyze a lot of it. I'll hear about 4 or 5 things and see like that's where everyone is coming from and just be like, I'm sick of it and I'll shut it off. So maybe there were people who was just like, yo, Will, I'm proud that you could just, be a regular person, be a regular dude and realize blah, blah, blah. I wish I would have heard some of that because you're
Oh,
right.
go on his page.
It's more inundated. It's more inundated with the negative stuff. It's like every person I saw in the fitness community or even outside of it was just like shaming him. Oh my God, look at Will Smith. Oh, why would he do something like that? And it's just like, I mean, he's being a person. He's enjoying his life.
Nah, see,
Everybody
the
doesn't,
thing
you
with
know what
Will
I mean? Go
Smith
ahead.
is he's another one with antics.
Right.
He's another one who needs to sit down and shut up. That's the problem. You want to be training and doing a documentary? Cool. We don't need to see you in a Speedo, half naked, spinning around in slow motion. That's the problem. You see? That's the problem. You feel like you're in the worst shape. Fuck Will Smith. He gets me mad. I don't like the antics. I'm telling you, I don't like the antics. And that I'll say
Well,
publicly. Fuck Will Smith. I love
well,
Will Smith. I enjoy all of his movies. I cry every time I watch Collateral Beauty. Beautiful. But come on, we don't need to see you spinning in a Speedo,
but
sticking
that's
out your gut and posing, oh, this is the fattest I've ever been. Will Smith,
the.
Will Smith, listen,
But
listen, Will Smith, calm down, player. You could be, listen, if you got a dad bod and you're ashamed, you're going to get a trainer, you're going to get paid to do a documentary. Mwah, I love it. Get all the millions. But we don't need the antics.
yeah,
That's
you're
why
right.
it got so much negativity.
Right.
And Will Smith is also a genius. I'm going to keep it real. What did
There
Will
you go.
Smith do? He started a challenge, or maybe his social media team are geniuses. I don't know. But they
In
started a
marketing.
challenge. I think it's called the Big Willie Challenge or something like that. And if you look, there's millions of people doing the
Okay.
same dumb shit he did on that thing spinning. So there's mad cats. Son, this is why the
I'm
internet
next.
is retarded.
I'm gonna get me
Now
one.
you're not big enough. I could do it probably, but you can't. I got enough gut to do it. You ain't got enough gut to do it. You
I'm gonna
got
get on
arms and
there
shit.
and
You're gonna
just
have to
spin
take a couple
around.
months off the gym to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Just
I might could do it. I got a little belly.
I could
I got the dad
I could
bod. You ain't really
I
there.
could I could poke it out, you know what I'm saying? I could, use some
Well, that's what happened. So he created the Big Willie Challenge. I think it's called
yeah.
that. And there's people. I'll put a couple up on the screen if you want. And there's cats posing basically the same way and saying like, "Oh man, you've inspired me. I'm gonna do my thing. You said you're gonna do a year of fitness. You've inspired me to do the same thing." And so he's been reposting all the cats doing it. And there's like, you know how people do the side by side thing.
Yeah, yeah, the
So
transformation
people are
joints.
doing his picture and their picture.
Yes.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
love it. Well, I
And
mean, you're right. I mean, yeah,
that I could dig.
yeah, because it's he knows that's the genius. Him or his team, like you said, they know like, hey, if we know how the internet is going to be, so we got to create this like negative slash positive thing where we got to get people talking about it. So in order to get the most views, put something wild out there and be like, damn, that's Will Smith. Yeah. And so rather than being like, oh, Will Smith on some paparazzi on a boat
Right.
or, I caught him in his backyard. No, I'm gonna put it on front. I'm gonna put it on Front Street, as the old school cats used to say when I was coming
Yep.
up. I'm gonna put it on Front Street. I'm gonna put it right there.
Yep.
I'm gonna have the lights. I'm gonna get professional cats. We're gonna get the little stage that circulates, and then
Right.
let
And
let
then vote.
everyone, yeah, let everyone say whatever they want to say so that
Right.
I could use that traffic to do something else with.
Right.
Genius. Wish I thought it.
Antics.
You know what I mean?
Antics.
Why not?
It's antics. So yeah, to circle back, there are people who praise both sides. It's not just men bashing. I'm not gonna say there's not men bashing, but you do see people praising
Okay.
uh
Okay.
celebs too. Now we'll
Accepted.
say they're choosy as fuck about who they praise, but they do praise cats. They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you see the most praise is when they flip it. So like right now they bash Vin Diesel, but if in 6 months Vin Diesel comes out looking like he was chiseled by the gods, that shit's gonna be everywhere.
Well, yeah, I mean that's going to come out because Vin does that. Like when Vin gets body shamed, he,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and I get it because I'm the same way. It's like, okay, I'm gonna use that negative energy. You know what I'm saying? Thank y'all for all you did was
Right.
like, you know, put more juice in my battery. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So Vin does that. He'll be like, all right, cool. He'll do Fast and Furious 2018, whatever. You know,
Yeah.
and because I'm like, what else can you do with that franchise? But that's a different story. But it's like,
That's right.
yeah, he'll have that coming up. He'll get in shape,
Right.
take the shirt off, and just be like, boom, got
Right.
y'all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
y'all think I don't know where the smoothie time is at? I know exactly where
I
it
know
is.
exactly where the
You
smoothie time is at.
know what I mean? I go there all the time. I get smoothies and the
You know what
other
I'm
thing.
saying? And that other shit.
You know what I mean? So yeah, that's all. Um, about I'll say maybe about 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, maybe 6 weeks ago, Arnold Schwarzenegger, the godfather of bodybuilding, or
Right.
I don't know, I mean, the king of this shit, the one who popularized the sport. You know what I'm
Right.
saying, of bodybuilding. Like everybody's about there was people bodybuilding before him, but nobody made it popular like he did. So you got to give him credit for that. You
Right.
know, a few weeks ago he came out and was just like, yo, um people talking about, they don't want to get vaccinated, they have their freedom, blah blah blah. And he was like, yo, screw your freedoms, right?
Yep.
Go and get it. And he got all kind of backlash from that. Certain people pulled out of his Arnold Classic bodybuilding contest.
Yep.
Um, Certain people like pulled down, like stopped taking his supplement brand. He has a brand that's just like, yo, people were ripping down his posters and taking it out of their gyms. We don't want to have nothing to do with Arnold. How dare he say screw our freedoms? This is not Nazi Germany where you came from. This is America and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, like I understood what he was saying. Maybe he could have used some better verbiage, um but yeah, that's where we are right now, where we've talked about this before, where it's become very polarized in
Yeah.
terms of like, you got to be either on this side, either on that side. There's no gray, there's no in between. And when you have a big celebrity like Arnold, you know who is the king of the fitness industry, comes out and says, I don't care how you feel. I don't care what you think your freedoms are. Screw those things and just do it. It feels like he is saying, oh, I'm 100% with forcing people to take this, whether they want to or not, you
Yep.
know? And so, what's your perspective on that?
Well, my perspective is it's just challenging times, man. I think Arnold, he could do whatever he wants, but as someone who's a former governor, as someone who has a huge platform and millions of fans, it's really hard to digest that type of verbiage from Arnold. Um, you know, Everyone has a right to say what they want and feel what they want. Um, but when you have a large following, you have a responsibility. You kind of, it's weird because I feel like the internet tells people what to do all the time, and I don't want to come off that way. But when you hear someone like Arnold saying that, it's kind of hard to deal with. I mean, yeah, when you hear cats like ripping down posters and things of that nature, it's extreme. I get it. Sometimes, when you worship someone and they wild out, you have extreme reactions. It's like the Eminem song "Stan" when he was like destroying his crib because he was mad at Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so I get it. But I think that the problem is largely there are a lot of agendas at play, and people are not using logic. And I've already said several times that I'm not against people getting their shots, booster shots, whatever it is they want to do. Um, but I think that when you create a divide, when you begin to segregate, it becomes very problematic. Right now there's a lot of that going on, and in our home state, it's really jacked up right now. New York is saying there's an emergency,
Yeah.
but there's not an emergency. They're saying that there's a shortage of nurses and doctors now, but they created the shortage because they're firing everyone who they were worshiping a year ago. A year ago, every day at 7 o'clock, everyone stopped what they were doing and applauded the essential workers, largely the healthcare workers.
Right. Playing songs and shit for them. Hold on, guys. I just want to sing to you before you go
And
home.
yeah,
Yeah.
and now those same people who have dedicated their lives to the healthcare system, to helping people, to honestly helping less fortunate people, because those some of those doctors make great money, some of those nurses make great money, and I mean some of them also don't because they have sacrifice salary to help people in lower income situations, and that speaks volumes. And those are the people who every day were sacrificing their lives when there wasn't enough PPE gear. They were reusing masks, and these people put their lives on the line every day for everyone. And to turn around and tell them they're fired, it's crazy. It's like, I get the agenda. I understand what you want to do. I'm not even mad at that. But you're messing with people's lives now. If you were a doctor for 20 years, right? And you took, I don't know, 12 or 20 years to become a doctor. That's 40 years of your life, 30 years of your life. And now, like a Thanos snap, it's gone. It's gone.
Yeah. It's the
And
ultimate
and now what are
bullying.
you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go, where are you going to work at? Family Dollar? No, I
That's
know
the
it sounds like
ultimate
an
bullying.
asshole statement, but let's be real. Think about a resume, right? Let's say you're an employer and I come to you with a resume. The only shit on my resume is everything in the medical field. The only thing is emergency room doctor.
Right.
What qualifications do I have to work at your Fortune 500 company?
Well, yeah, they're gonna have to get out of Dodge. That's the you got to move to a state that is not as battleground
Rigid.
as New York, right? Yeah, right now.
But even North Carolina, did you see North Carolina?
I see certain states are starting to follow New York's example.
And this is crazy. I mean, listen, again, if y'all want cats to take the shots, I get it. I'm not mad at that. I'm not against people taking the shots. But son, you're just getting rid of people's livelihood. And now, what's the alternative? We're calling in the National Guard. We're
Right.
asking people to come out of retirement. We're going to let people who aren't really done in the medical field enter and replace these people.
Yeah,
Son,
and it's
it's
easy.
such a smack in the face. And this
Yeah.
is the thing that I keep saying about this country. Forget about this mandate shit just for a second. In this country, there's a game called college. There's a game called mandatory debt. So you have tons and tons of debt. You did the quote unquote right thing. You went to school for eons, because to be a doctor, you're not going to school for 2 years or 4 years. You went through mad school. You have mad debt. You're doing a service for society, you're going through the ringer because they go being a doctor ain't just school. There's all type of shit when school is done. There's trainings and like all type of programs, and it depends what field you're in too. Like there's it's crazy. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? And it's gone, baby. It's gone. So
Yeah.
I've done everything this country has asked me to do. Not me, but doctor, nurse,
Right.
whatever.
Right.
I've
Right.
gone through everything you've asked me to do, including not getting a pay raise when I was sacrificing my life and my family's life to show up for the world, for the nation, for the state, for the city. And now it's like, all right, cool, but if you don't play ball, it's over.
Yeah, it's the ultimate bullying, and they bring in the National Guard in because if you're a member of the military, your body don't belong to you, right?
Right,
You belong to the military. Your body belongs to the military, so it's sort of like a slavery type thing, where it's just like you don't have a choice. We control
right.
your body, and we're gonna put this in there. Yeah, it's the ultimate bullying, man, and you know, it's not done. It's not done. It's only gonna get worse. And my thing is, maybe are there even a conversation about the numbers of cases? Are they going up? Are they going down? I don't even hear that anymore. I mean, I
That's
hear,
what I said a while ago.
yeah, I hear it every now and then they'll start saying the case because from what I can tell, it seems like the cases are going down. Hospitalizations are going way down. So if the cases are going down, hospitalizations are going down, why do you need to force this in the veins of people? And like you said, a year ago you didn't have to do that, and if these people maintained and did what they are doing now and they didn't catch it, well, all they have to do is just maintain that according to you. But yeah, they're creating that false narrative to say, okay, well, once everybody gets this vaccine, then we can just live life as we always did because now we're protected, and that's going to set everybody up for big time failure. So
Yep.
we'll sit back and we'll see.
And I just think it's foul. I mean,
Yeah.
again, y'all want to do what y'all want to do. You know what I'm saying? America is a country of agendas. America is a country of political games. I get it. But fam, just getting rid of entire staffs for this? Come on, fam. For something
Yeah.
I could still catch and spread? Come
And
on,
and
like
people make fun of people who believe in conspiracy theories, like, oh, you're a wacky conspiracy theorist. But this kind of stuff feeds conspiracy theory, right? Because when this whole thing started, a lot of religious people, religious, I don't want to say fanatics, but people who are more religious and into the Bible and stuff, was using the term mark of the beast, right? Where in the Bible, if you don't have this mark, you can't get food, you can't get jobs, you can't. And so for a lot of people right now, it's like, oh, we knew that this was coming. The Bible foretold of the you have to get the mark of the beast in order for you to live your life. And now
yep,
here we are, because that's where we're coming to, where
yep,
people are just like, oh, so if I don't get this, I can't enjoy my life. I can't get a job. I can't work at this particular place. So yeah, it's going to get bad if things don't turn around, and we just got to sit back and watch this one, uh, because yeah, it's definitely going to get worse before it gets better.
yeah. And I just think it's nasty. Like my thing is I totally understand ruling through fear, and I know that's the MO in this country, but it's like, son, but now you just spitting in people's faces. Like
Oh yeah,
to
oh
to
yeah,
like to just say like, yo, it's over in a snap, it's crazy. I'm not even like I'm actually in awe. Like I was watching it and I was like, this can't be real. Like they're gonna say psych, just kidding, LOL, something. And it was like, nah, National Guard, because now there's an emergency because we're looking to fire this many people. And it's like,
it's
wait.
crazy.
You said you're looking to fire and now there's an emergency. It's like I'm gonna burn down your apartment. your whole complex and say like, hey, listen, there was an accident here. We need emergency services to rebuild this building. It's like,
Right.
what? But that building was just fine. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
nah, 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 it got burned down. But you burned it down.
Right.
It's like you just wiping out whole staffs. And the people doing it are one of the biggest companies of healthcare in the New York State. It's Northwell Healthcare. They're a huge conglomerate when it comes to healthcare services. They just on some like, yeah, that's the door right there. If you don't
Right.
if you don't want to do it, no, this door works too. If you don't want to exit through there, you can exit through here, take all your shit, and have a good life.
That's why in a democratic society, what's important is not necessarily a democracy, meaning 51% of the people get to tell 49% of the people what they can do. What's important is individual rights. To say that as an individual, you have rights, whether everyone is doing it or not. And these are the conversations that are coming up now because it's like, well, you take New York City, where it's like most people in New York City have the vaccine and most people want to, okay, but then there's a lot of people who don't. And so you're saying, well, since most people want to do it, those other people who, are at the minority, who gives a shit? Like, you don't have any rights because we outvoted your rights. And it's like, well, didn't that kind of what happened when we had slave labor in this country? Didn't we say, well, okay, well, this is okay to do because the majority made these laws and these minorities can't say anything because it's a democracy. So, hey, as long as the numbers check out, you just got to do it. And isn't that why we want individual rights to say, okay, well, the government has to recognize you as an individual and these are your rights in spite of what um, the majority might say, you know? It's coming down to that, man. And we just got to keep our eye on it and, you know, just watch where this thing goes. And it's going in a really bad place.
Yeah. And people are applauding it. And as they applaud it, all I hear is Padme saying, "This is how democracy dies," with astounding applause.
Hmm.
Or something like that. Maybe not
Yeah,
astounding
yes,
applause, but she
yeah, it's
says with
something like
some
that.
kind of
But
applause.
it's like, yeah, as long as everyone feels like, well, because now everybody's an expert. And like we were saying before, there's no other talk of other methods, right? No, when this first thing started, it was just like, yeah, there's about a dozen different type of methods to fight this thing. We got vaccines, we got nasal sprays, we got this, we got that. It was all these different things, and it was like, yeah, we're gonna put money into all these things so that we can get it on all fronts. Then the vaccines came out, and all that went away, and it's just like, yeah, we only got one thing, and that's it. It's like, well, what happened to all the other methods that we were thinking about using?
Because
Why
because
did
they
all like
bought massive amounts of that shot. You know what I'm saying? They bought massive amounts of that dosage. We've spoken about the money that Pfizer has made and Moderna has made, and that's
right,
why. So fuck those other methods because I paid Dre for gym services. Dre is my personal trainer and I've paid him. No, I'm not doing anything else. I'm rolling with Dre. Why? Because I paid Dre. So if y'all not going to do these workouts with Dre, y'all can get the fuck out.
right. Rather than saying, hey, let's put some money into medication and treatment so that when people do get this virus and some of them might have to go to the hospital, we developed a medication, we developed a treatment to help them through it. So this way, it's not even a big deal. You go to the hospital, we have this new medication, you take it, it helps out your immune system at that level, and you're out in a few days. What's wrong with with that? We were going there at some point, and nah, it died. And so that's the thing that makes conspiracy theories live. When you just say it's one way, that's it, Soviet Union style, fuck it. All right. So, people start seeing the country for what it is. I guess it's not the land of the free. You know what I'm saying? I guess it's just the land of the slave. Period.
And my thing is, and this is the last thing I'll say,
Yeah. Let me
is
move.
that we're going so hard with this vaccine. Meanwhile, a country like Israel, who's like 90% vaccinated, is getting ripped apart by the Delta variant. So what? So we're all gonna get the shot. Let's just say we all get it, and then now there's Delta variant, and what's the new one? R.1. You seen that one yet?
Yeah, I know there's a lambda. There's another. Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So I got this. I got my booster. I've got all 35 shots. That's an exaggeration.
No,
And
but
now
we're
Delta
gonna be
comes
there.
and is just like,
Yeah, it's an exaggeration until we get there because now you need boosters. And then now you're gonna need another booster for the booster, and then another booster. At what point do you say maybe this is weakening the immune system? I don't,
or maybe the shit just don't work.
but if you have to keep taking this thing over and over and over when the immune system's supposed to be on autopilot, might be something wrong there. I don't know,
Yeah,
but it's all good
yeah,
because it's all bad. You know what I mean?
that's right.
But with that being said, we're gonna sign off. But yo, before we leave, once again, we've said this before. I guess we gotta start saying this when we end. You know, if you on YouTube, make a comment, subscribe, hit the bell button, rock out. And if you know me and Jay personally, no need to text me and comment on the show. I mean, I love that y'all watching it. Thank you. But
Right,
you better off just like commenting, in the comment section so we can keep
right,
these discussions going. I feel like we had some really good discussions. It's pretty funny or thought provoking. Let's keep the discussions going in the comments. And we could all build. That's the
right.
whole point of the show.
That's right. So tell us what your thoughts are on what's going on currently in New York and what Arnold said and Chris Hemsworth juicing or not juicing. You know what I'm saying? Let us know how you feel about tying up your arm and all that other shit.
Yeah, your legs and your
But yes,
thighs.
Dre is right. It helps us a lot. It gets more eyes. It helps boost us in the stats or algorithms or whatever you want to call it. Especially because these C19 topics take our stuff way, way down. Because they don't want cats talking about these things. So help us out. Help us help you. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Help us out. And we'll be back next week with more fun stuff. And next week, we'll do a sponsored by segment because we skipped it this week. We ain't
Yep.
put no food up, and I'm out. Y'all can get some food stuff next week. Aight?
All right then.
And let's roll out, roll out, roll out, roll out, let's roll out.